Okay, so today we're going to start my journey at the age of 19. I had a daughter, and her father and I were young. He was a very good man. We were young, high school sweethearts, and it just didn't work out. So I moved here to Mississippi, and my journey begins. I started using at the age of 19 after my daughter was born. I met my first husband in Mississippi here. We have 3 children together. And I really had to sit here and think and contemplate about if I really wanted to get into this relationship. Because my biggest strength and also my biggest weakness is my family. This video is not to hurt anybody in no shape or form. But I feel like it's a big part that I need to share with y'all. Just to show you how lucky I am to be here and to be clean. So I'm not going to get into specifics of the relationship other than it was very unhealthy. We had 3 babies together, and I caught my first charge while I was with him. The charge was accessory after fact of capital murder. I really don't want to get into the specifics of it, not because I'm ashamed of anything, but like I said, this video is not to harm anybody. But I will tell you that the reason why I got accessory after the fact is because when I found out about it, I did not call the police. You'd have to understand the relationship. You'd have to understand the situation. I'm not here to batter him, but the relationship was very unhealthy. So I got a year of house arrest, 5 years on paper. I completed the year of house arrest. While I was on paper, I violated. I caught charges of conspiracy to manufacture, manufacturing, and possession with intent. Now, here I am when my husband and I split up. I'm with 3 kids, and getting a job was not an option. I was not getting government benefits. I was not getting child support. I went into survival mode and done what I had to do to keep a roof over our head and food in our tummies. My kids didn't have everything they wanted, but they had everything they needed. Like I told you, the relationship was very bad. So after him, I developed an independent. I didn't rely on nobody. I knew the only person I could depend on was myself. So at some point in time, we both go to jail for separate reasons. And we get a divorce. We're separated, and I catch my next 3 charges, which is conspiracy, manufacturing, and possession with intent. I go to prison, and that was in 2006. But while I was being sentenced, that prosecuting attorney come to me and said, "You never see your son graduate. Your girls' prom. You're going to miss every bit of it." Because at the time, I was having to do 13 years before I could even think about coming home. And it started to sink in. My auntie come up there to the county jail. We were looking through this little window, and she starts crying. And I'm trying to ease her. I'm like, "Auntie, it's okay. It's okay, Auntie. I'm going to be okay." And she says to me, "No, it's not okay. This is not okay. Look around you. It is not okay." Something in my heart told me I wasn't fixing to do all this time. I don't know what it was. But I got down to Central Mississippi Correctional Facility. It is the only facility that all inmates go through. to be classified. It's a female's prison, but the men come through there and they get dispersed from there. So, because I've got all this time on me, they're sending me to what's called the big yard. The big yard is where anybody that had 8 years or more would go. It's a little bit easier to do time over there, and you have school that you get to attend and stuff like that. Well, I'm over there, and my case manager calls me out, and she says, Belinda, you're up for parole. Let's go ahead and fill out your parole packet. Well, I did. And at the time, this other time wasn't showing up, but it did. And of course, I didn't make parole. Well, I don't know, about a year later, my case manager calls me back out, and she says, let's fill out a parole packet. It's that time. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I've still got 20 years that are not showing up yet. I don't want to waste your time. Don't want you wasting my time. It's not going to happen. She says, well, let's just go ahead and fill out this parole packet. Let's just see what happens. You know, it's not going to hurt you any. It is what it is. So we did. And one day, I get called from my rack to pack. I'm going to Quick Bed, which is for anybody that has 7 years and less. I'm like, what the crap is going on? So I packed everything. I called my auntie, and I'm like, they moved me over to Quick Bed. Get me back over to the big yard. I don't want to be here where all these people are fixing to go home. It makes you homesick. And she says, are you ready to come home? And I said, what? She said, yeah, are you ready to come home? I said, of course. She said, well, they've done been out there. They've approved your address, and you got to finish long-term A&D, which is alcohol and drug class for inmates. What? Then I find out that the new laws had changed, because up to that point, you had to do 85% of your time on any kind of drug charges. And the new law come to where it went to 25% of your time you had to do, and then you could parole out. So, the law changed. Okay? Well, I come home. Let's see, I went to prison in 2006. Come home in 2009. Still doing the same thing I was doing. Hard-headed. Prison is, I understand it's not supposed to be all fun and games. Prison is a different type of lifestyle. It is definitely not for the weak of heart. But that's something we can get into another day. Went back to prison in 2010 because I violated my probation, which was I was riding around with somebody that had a meth lab. Got caught, and I violated. Went back to prison, stayed there from 2010 to 2013. I'm going to go ahead and stop right here, and I'll share more with you on the next video. Please remember to like and subscribe. To the addict out there, don't give up. Keep pushing. To the ones who love an addict out there, don't give up. They need you. I love all of y'all, and I'll see you in the future. Okay, I'm back for just a split second. There was something very important that I forgot to mention. After I caught the charges of accessory after the fact capital murder, my oldest daughter's dad from Florida come up here, and I lost custody of her. I don't blame him. He was being a responsible parent because of things she had seen. She was having to see a doctor, He was having a call in the middle of the night, so she knew that I was okay. Now, that was important to tell y'all because all of this leads to where I'm at now. Again, I love y'all. And to the addict out there, keep pushing. Don't give up. And to the ones who love an addict out there, keep pushing. They need you. I love y'all.